Alright, so today I'm going to show you guys the first aid kit that I made. I'm planning to keep this in my car, but also use it on my boat mostly. That's like my specific purpose, I guess you could say, for it. The box that it's in is just like a utility storage box from Walmart, but it has a rubber seal and a latch on it. So that way it's like basically 100% waterproof. Well, not 100%. If it sank, everything in it would probably get wet, but it should float and stuff like that. So even if something happens on the boat where it goes into the water, everything inside should stay nice and dry. So open the latch and go ahead and take everything out. So the first thing is that I have is and this is also first aid, but I would also say sort of like a survival kit, because I have been out and had my boat break down at like not a great time, and I could definitely have used a couple of these things. So this is just a stretching strap, like a yoga stretching strap, but it would work well as a tourniquet because it has 2 loops, so you can tighten it down and it'll stay tight, and you can adjust the tightness and stuff. But there's also like a lot of extra nylon strap on here, so you know, depending on what body part you have the tourniquet on, I would just take my knife and cut it, and then I would have all this extra strap to use for whatever else I would need it for at the time. So there's that tourniquet, stop bleeding, stuff like that. I threw a pair of tweezers in there because you're around a lot of wood and sometimes like decks and stuff on the boat, so you get splinters sometimes, or you're making a fire. So these can come in handy for that. I went ahead and put, this box is pretty big, so I went ahead and put my full CPR mask in there. The main reason I put it in here was because, you know, drowning happens a fair amount if you're around water a lot and stuff like that. And, you know, if someone gets like electrocuted or something, they could have like a heart attack. And secondly, I just don't like the plastic, the like just straight up plastic barriers. Like, I don't like putting my mouth on that, and I feel like, you know, if I were in a situation, I would definitely rather use this. So I had enough space to put this, and it also provides like another container that I can put stuff in. So the next thing I put in there is a knife. This knife is really sharp, so I was always taught that a dull knife is a dangerous knife, and so this one is definitely not dull. It can be used for a lot of different things, like as far as first aid. So cutting the strap, cutting gauze wraps, cutting open clothes. It can be used to cut away, you know, little tiny parts of skin, because it is so sharp. So even if someone got like a little hook in their skin, I could take the point of this and try to get the hook out myself if I felt comfortable doing that. So this obviously has a lot of different uses, so had to throw that in there. Next thing I threw in there was like a 300 pack, or it used to be a 300 pack of cotton balls. So this is about half the pack and a little mini lighter. So this is what I would like consider my fire starting kit. A lot of the wood, the places I take my boat, is mostly dry, so I don't have that hard of a time making a fire, but this would certainly make it quicker and easier if I have this much to start it with. So like one instance, just the other week. Me and my roommate were out on the boat, and it was like getting dark, and it was kind of cold, and both me and him probably didn't have. I mostly didn't have enough clothes on, and so we went to leave, and we had our fire put out and everything, and we hit a rock on the way out, and so we had to turn around and fix something on the motor that broke, and by the time we were on our way back, it was like completely dark and really cold, and so it would have been nice to be able to start another fire to warm everything up. And if you're like waiting for someone to come help you or rescue you, especially in the mountains where it can get pretty cold, if you are like wet and stuff like that, then this can be a really good tool. The next thing I put in there was this kit that I got I think I got it from Target. So it came in its own like rubber case. That was pretty nice, but I obviously wanted to put everything in a waterproof case. So just for some extra protection. And everything that's in here is, so it had more stuff in here actually, but what I consider to be the most important of the first aid materials are in here. So this one is for CPR and like general shock. So if somebody goes into shock for one reason or another, it has these medical scissors in there. They're really good for cutting off clothes and stuff. I know I said I had the knife for that, but this can cut clothes, cut the gauze really easily. There's an emergency blanket in this as well. So another thing to keep someone warm if they got wet. It does have one of those straight up plastic breathing barriers in there, but like I said, I don't really enjoy using those, and I know that about myself, so that's why I brought the other one. The next one is for sprains and strains. So it has a cold compress, which could be really useful if somebody falls and hits themselves really hard on like the side of the boat or whatever, because most of the surfaces on the boat are really hard, like metal. It has some athletic wrap, some stretchy wrap, and then it has a couple of triangle bandages in there, as well as like Tylenol, Advil, and some like alcohol wipes and stuff like that. The next thing I have is bleeding, wounds, burning. Basically this little section is for all open wounds. So it has things like antiseptics, alcohol wipes, it has gloves, because when I'm out on the boat, you know, there's a lot of like gas and oil that I'm sort of dealing with, and so my hands can get really dirty. So those can come in handy. And yeah, that's basically everything. There isn't necessarily any like band-aids and stuff in there, like small band-aids, just because honestly it's just me and my roommate who are out on the boat most of the time, and if we get a cut that we need a band-aid for, we'll just leave it open and clean it until we get back. Like, I'm not gonna put a band-aid on it because the band-aid's just gonna get real nasty and wet. So that was everything that I think that I needed in my kit for my boat. And like I said, I will also keep this, try to keep it in my car, because why not? You never know when you can need to use some of these things, and you can deal with some pretty serious situations with just what's in here. And then also, like I said, everything that I added, you know, that I didn't like purchase as like sort of a already made first aid kit was like, you know, obviously the strap for the tourniquet, but it's all mostly just things to help with, you know, if the boat breaks down and I'm stuck somewhere and I need to like keep myself warm, keep myself dry, until somebody can come help. So that's mostly the things that I added myself. And so that's my first aid kit. As you can see, everything goes in there. Everything fits in there pretty easily, so it's not like a big deal to unpack it. And like I said, all of those packets are labeled, so I would recommend if you are ever looking for a pre-made kit, that one from Target is pretty good. There you go. It's my first aid kit for a boat.